it's kind of fortunate. If you look at it, compare with, if just for familiar, right? You're all familiar with Amazon's model. Right? So if you think about technology, what Amazon is working on to make their customer happier, right? To serve their customer better. So for us, the innovation is really focused around our customer. And customer means JD started with really two most important foundation. One is the trust, one is the speed. Trust is that everything you buy from JD, it's authentic. Authenticity is our number one thing. Second is the trust. The speed, the fast delivery, right? 90% of our orders delivered within the same day. So all the technology, many of technology when we started, we kind of focus on that. Supply chain technology, right? Warehouse, how we make the three key elements of our business: experience, cost, and efficiency. How we innovate along the three key pillars: the user experience, cost, and efficiency. So you ask me what is the most exciting things JD is working on. We're working on so many different areas, but everything we're working on is really focused on serving our customer. So, for example, people talk about AI everywhere, right? You go everywhere, nobody is not talking about AI. Everybody talking about AI. But if you look at the true, really, what type of things really can truly start helping people to really get our experience better, it's really start from the front end. We try to be understanding user better than themselves. The purpose of that is that you can service them better, right? So AI is leveraged into the customer answering system, right? The system where help answer, take calls from a customer. How we can understand customer better. So to assist or fully automated, the AI just take over to can help our customers. So this is one area where we're making significant progress. We're hoping to be the best in China in terms of can AI to helping talking with our customers. And the user experience that we are doing is very personalized, try to build a truly personalized experience. I always say that it's no matter the search, no matter it is advertising, it has to be personal relevant. If it's not personal relevant, it's a garbage. It's a waste of your time. So if you look at that part of where we're working on, and for the kind of things where you guys all know the Alexa, right? Echo, right? We are number one in China. We're first company in China build our smart speaker. So we did it 3 years ago. So at the time, nobody in China had a smart speaker. We are just right after Amazon had the Alexa and the Echo. And into that part of the read is kind of also engage our user. You all know how Alexa can be functioning. You want to ask?
Yeah, maybe just if you have these smart speakers, how close are you to these individual bots making my decision as a customer?
Smart speakers, individual bots, this is two systems. So the customer you're talking about can fully intelligently talking with customer, I mean like chat, right? So this is the few steps where at the early stages kind of, I think Google probably most advanced in terms of the duplex talk that can be very behaving in dialogue when you start able to dialogue with the customer. We are still at a step behind in terms of on that. Pretty much except for Google, right? Everybody is a step behind. So that is a long way to go because the next wave of innovation, I look at it, it's very much likely to coming from the further, easier way for user to interact. And interact not with a PC, a mobile, but start to interact with the device. That we call AIoT. Right? The reason it's so important to us, AIoT, is because we are the largest IoT device online seller in China, both online and offline. So it's very important for us to be able to build the ecosystem where devices are connected and devices are all becoming smarter. So apart from that, we are also working on the speed part where we really focus, right? We say the user experience, speed, and efficiency. Speed is we look at it how we fully automated warehouses, right? And that also help us to reduce cost, the efficiency. When we started building the warehouse with limited land space, we started building up the pretty tall in terms of inside the warehouse. We are, unlike Amazon, able to just leverage a large piece of land around Beijing and major tier 1 city, tier 2 city, very scarce. So in order to use that well, we're building, just like you see many tall buildings in large Chinese cities. So with that kind of needs, the fully automated warehouse became really essential. And because human, if you be part of that, is very inefficient. So we are still building in the warehouse. We have already one fully automated warehouse building in Shanghai. And now we are basically trying to building them more and more. But the key is really each time we're building one component, we want to reduce the cost. Because in the retail business, the cost is crucial. You cannot say, I have built the best technology, I made our user experience great, but our cost pretty high. You will lose. So it's not a game of technology, who has the best technology, but the best technology who can bring the cost down and continue to improve user experience. So we are building the fully automated warehouse that lots of robots now start to happen in our warehouses. And for the last leg delivery for the innovation, we are the first one in China have really started testing our we call delivery robot in Beijing in 10 different universities. So that's also the first in China. Now you see more and more companies start doing it. But what we are doing, we are very kind of feel very good about it is we ourselves is our biggest user. That's bring tremendous advantage when you build technologies. When you build technology, if you build something, you want other people to use it. It just takes lots of time to make a product perfect before you can really say, okay, I'm done. People, I'm sales new technology, you can take it now. But for us, we can really incrementally start making progress. If you know AI is all about iteration. AI is all about the data, how much data you can collect. And that gave us tremendous benefit because we are the product, the biggest user. So the fully automated delivery vehicle, or we can call delivery robot, we're the first one in China building it, we're leading it, and I think that we have lots of confidence that we will make it successful in China because we are the biggest user of it. For the singles day, most of our product still delivered within 24 hours. If you just look at that, that's how well we predict, locate warehouses users need. So it's not like when other companies, when Singles Day came, they have 2 weeks, they don't even know where the product is. Most of our product sold by JD is still being delivered within 24 hours or maximum 2 days in most of the cases. So that's tremendous logistic ability that JD shows. and the scale we build this up, and the ability to deal with them, to spread the Singles' Day not from one day, but the November 1st to Singles' Day. That's really 11 days continuous sale for different categories. That's the whole purpose is try to reduce the traffic for that one day. Right? That's not very healthy. If you put everything on one day, it provides tremendous pressure on the whole nation's logistic network. And so for us, what we always done in the past is do 11 days. So honestly, at the company, at JD, pretty much we have to own every technology ourselves. As simple as that, right? It's when you're at this scale, you need to have an expert in search, advertising, big data, drones, robots, or blockchain, right? Another thing where we are just working on to one of the things where when we look at it, is always look at it, is that relevant, is this new technology relevant to our user? Is this new technology can reduce our cost? Is this new technology can improve efficiency? If it's a fit one of our key criteria, and it's a main use case, then we must invest ourselves. We cannot and should not rely on anybody else. But for certain things, we certainly can have a frank exchange with our partners, right? In China, for example, we do anti-fraud thing together with Tencent to find those kind of fraudulent, those black market of people selling different accounts. Those are everywhere, right? You always have those kind of bad people. And for those things, we usually have a kind of association of a group of companies working together to identify. So this kind of we call the account protection. This is so in certain areas, yes, we do work together with Tencent a lot. But Google is, in terms of things, we are all working on trying to collectively create business opportunities, right? So that's a part of things we are working on with Google and to really realize some of the potentials to leverage both sides of our abilities. And we have a really serious, particular, this leadership team at JD is willing to really look far, right? But equally important, we look at every technology's impact on three of the key criteria I just laid. Is this significantly improve our user experience? Is this really reduce our cost? Is this really improve significantly our efficiencies, right? And how we can serve our user, new technology, serve our user better? Is this fundamental to our business, essentially? If it's fundamental to our business, we're going to really go full in to invest, to own that thing. But there's always new technology. Some of them, other people do really well. We will be just tapping into them. Like mobile phone, right? Somebody built it. There's so many of them. We don't need to build a mobile phone. But we want to make our user experience better. When we saw the need of online-offline integration, we built our 7Fresh choice, the choice for 7Fresh. The 7Fresh is really not just an offline store. It's really online-offline combination. How can you get an online experience translated into offline? And vice versa. How can you make technology available in offline shopping experience where customer feel this is not your classic Safeway?
Given your Silicon Valley background and experience, do you...
So we absolutely think Silicon Valley is still by far the most innovative place in this planet. that's part of the reason but that's part of the reason we actually opened our R&D lab in Silicon Valley a few years ago. We have about 200, mostly scientists, working with us to basically, do the R&Ds, research and development. And I think that every time I goes back, particularly last few years, and many of my friends always ask me, so what's the difference you feel, right? I really felt people feel like China starting to have the fast-paced innovation. But I overall look at it, there's so much need to be learned in China, learn from the US. It's just far away from we can be equal, all the things. There are lots of differences, but the one thing China particularly do well is just people are just very hardworking. That's the only thing I can say categorically that there's no comparison. Right? People it's just working 12 hours a day is very normal. Work over the weekend is a very normal thing. I give you an example. Very interesting, the dean of the Columbia University visited to Beijing and he called a meeting with us. It was on Sunday. When she met us, she was so apologetic. She felt so bad, dragged us out on Sunday. But to us, it's just a normal thing, right? It's not much big deal. So it's on that sense, China has an advantage. But part of things you look at it, it's just as a human, it's just you how you're comfortable when I have comparisons. The US is more balanced. China's tough.
So in your own tech department, what is the average working hour? Is it 996 here?
It's, for me, I can say myself, I probably 12 hours a day in the company, right? We started we came up at 8:20, before 8:20, right, every morning. We usually leaving after 8. So 12 hours a day is normal. So if I'm 12 hours a day, just imagine my team, right? It's all from top, right? You don't want to do anything from your team if you do not willing to do it yourself. So even for the strategic partners, the data sharing is very serious business. They're not going to give the data for us, no way, even if we are strategic partners, right? But we have a way of how we do backend checking, all the things, right? So no company is going to give data to any other company. So that part of the thing I feel good about it is really, even though China is kind of behind in terms of privacy, all the things, but the companies pay extraordinary focus on to protecting it, so to defend it, right? Our security team, most Chinese company security team are all pretty big. Right? I came from Yahoo early days. Our security team, by the way, the engineers exceptionally good, but very small. And if you look at all the major Chinese companies, the security team are all relatively large. Because companies realize this is asset, information security and privacy, right? And those are crucially important to building people. Why people want to trust their company?
Maybe.
Like people trust JD in terms of authenticity, right? And part of this kind of level of trust, authenticity, you are always buy things, real things, you deliver things really fast, you protect my data really well. It's essential.
Maybe you can talk a little bit about how even though the actual data is not shared, there's data insights between social
It's the
and
insights.
commerce.
What we exchange is the insights. So you really cannot find out which user, right? It's the insights.
So typically with that retail as a service, that involves a lot of insight sharing, and that's just like aggregate data shared to your strategic
Yeah, so there is a certain way of handshaking, how to be able to find out things. But data is non-personal data. Every personal data is never kind of shared across the companies. There's no saving. Scale really bring down the cost. And scale really help you eventually to make the saving. So yes, for all the things we are working on, say technology, we always have to see in mind the cost, efficiency, and experience. So today, when you have a full example, you have one driver's car built up, the division must losing lots of money. Only until the driver's car have, like Google, if you have 100,000 driver's car, then the scale will make the overall cost down. So for us, I was saying, the fully automated warehouse, when it make money is when they start selling scales.
Okay, we gotta